next stimulus check. All right. So you guys remember how long they took to get those stimulus checks out, right? I mean, think about it. The first stimulus check was authorized by the coronavirus aid relief and economic security, also known as the CARES Act. So that stimulus check, they provided like $1,200 for most people. Some people got like $500. And that check was released back in like March of 2020. And it was actually one of the first stimulus checks to go out. And in fact, they approved it in March. I think they went out, the first check started going out in April, right? But then they decided to come out with a second check, right? So the second stimulus check was part of the C-19 relief package that they passed in December of 2020. A lot of people thought it wasn't going to happen, right? They provided it for up to $600. And a lot of people got that money. A lot of people got those checks. In fact, some people today are telling me that they never received that check. And you guys can comment down below if you have not received a check that you think that you should have received, but yet it still didn't come in the mail, or you didn't receive a direct deposit on that one, right? But then, of course, there was talk about a third check, and there was a long delay. There was a lot of back and forth. Republicans and Democrats were kind of going back and forth at each other, talking about, hey, should we do this thing? Should we not do this thing? There was a couple of Democrats, if you guys remember, who were not 100% on board with sending out that third check. And you guys know exactly who I'm talking about for my OGs, right? So anyway, that third stimulus check was finally authorized by the American Rescue Act, the American Rescue Plan Act. They signed it into law sometime in March of 2021. This particular check was like $1,400 for individuals, and they actually paid out an additional $1,400 per dependent. So it's actually one of the larger stimulus checks that they had ever sent. Ultimately, the distribution of that third stimulus payment actually started very soon after the legislation was enacted in March of 2021, if I'm not mistaken. And a lot of people received those payments through their direct deposits, whether it was direct deposit, paper checks, in many of the weeks following that approval. Now, the thing is we got to be very, very careful, guys. I want you guys to make sure that you do this the next time for the next stimulus check. All right. Now, here we are, December. We're approaching December of 2023. Christmas is around the corner. So I want you guys to be thinking about what to do next. Now, the first thing I'm going to share with you is something that you probably will not expect me to say. Now, before I even get into this, I want you guys to do me a favor, drop a quick like for the video. We've got well over 200, almost 250 people in this live here, guys. So definitely drop me a quick like. I want to make sure that you guys are able to see and hear me before I go any further. Last thing I want to do is be sitting in this room with this beautiful American flag behind me talking to myself. So definitely don't want to do that. So drop me a quick like. Let me know if you guys can hear me in the comment section down below. And let me know what you did with your last stimulus check. We're going to be ready. We're going to be ready for this next one. All right. Oh, and thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much for the Thanksgiving wishes. Happy Thanksgiving to all of you guys. Lady Trucker, Sabrina Barnhat. I see you guys. Thank you guys so very much. Appreciate that. So first thing I want you guys to do, and this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. You guys are amazing. You guys are amazing. And so many of you guys have sent me Thanksgiving wishes on our Patreon. So, and our Patreon is free to join. I'm going to leave a link for you guys in the description down below this video and as a pinned comment so you can join the family. Join the family over in Patreon. We are over there active. And, if you want to just chat with me, send me a message or whatever, you can hit me up on Patreon. I'm there. Now, let's get back to business, guys. How are we going to handle things differently this time, right? So number one, I want you guys to have fun. I want you to have fun. I want you to take 2% of your money and just go out there and have fun. Have a good time. What do I mean by that? Well, 2% will allow you to blow off some steam, right? We only live once, but we also don't want to screw ourselves. So what would you do with 2% of a $1,200, maybe even a $1,400 stimulus check? And depending upon how many dependents you had, maybe your stimulus check was $2,800 or $3,600. I don't know what it was, right? But maybe you took 2% and bought lottery tickets with it. Maybe you took 2% of that stimulus check money and you bought a bunch of, scratch off lottery tickets or, game tickets or whatever you call them. I don't really play the lottery personally, but, take that 2% and put a smile on your face. So now I want you guys to do me a really quick, solid favor. What would you use your 2% stimulus check to bring to what could you spend 2% of a stimulus check on that will put a smile on your face? Drop me some ideas in the comment section down below, guys. I want to hear from you. Now, what do we do with the remaining 98% of that money, right? Well, I will tell you what I would do with the remaining 98% of that stimulus check money. Just imagine you unexpectedly receive another $1,400 check, and now you're kind of thinking about why it might be a good idea to try to make the most of that $1,400. In fact, how could I take this $1,400 and turn it into $2,800 before using it for anything special? And why do we want to possibly double our money? Why do we want to double our money first? Well, the thing is you know how long it took for them to get that stimulus check out to us, right? They took even longer to get the second stimulus check out, and they took even longer for them to get the third stimulus check. So we don't want to get burned like we did the last time. We got to make sure that we make this thing last, right? So before you get your next stimulus check, you want to think about, how do I double my money first, right? So it's kind of like, keeping it safe, or at least keeping some of it safe in case you need it later, right? So this way, even if you spend some now, you still have some later. Now, when it comes to doubling your money, though, this means turning $1,400 into $2,800, right? And doing this more than once can make your money grow even more over time. And this is what I'm talking about. All right, hold on real quick. I just got to hit you guys up in the comments. So Marilee Spears says, buy gold and silver. Squirrel Tribe says, high interest yield savings. Thank you so much, Squirrel Tribe. That's a good idea. Marilee Spears says crypto. Pirate Dark Tynav says buy gold. Matt Mallon says silver. Michelle Epps says silver. Mark Braun says buy a new dresser. Quentin Smith says 98%. He's investing it. Pirate Dark says give it to the church. Wow. The generosity here is astounding. I really appreciate you guys' opinions and for you sharing with me what you would do with 98% of this stimulus check remaining, right? Now, let's talk about some of the good habits, right? Like, obviously, you have to pay attention to how you're going to use this money. Now, protecting your savings is going to be paramount. We don't want to just blow this money. We got to be smart here because we already know how long they take to cut these checks. And there's all sorts of stipulations that they want to put on us to restrict who's getting checks. You know how it goes. You know how the government does us, right? Man, you guys are live. I'm really surprised at how many people are in here. I figure you guys would be tired after eating all that turkey and apple pie and macaroni and cheese and stuffing and all of the favorites, right? I don't know what your favorite Thanksgiving food is, but mine is probably macaroni and cheese with the like crispy top, and if I don't have anything else, if I have vanilla ice cream and some apple pie, like warm apple pie, I'm done. I don't need nothing else. Anyway, so let's get back to it, right? So let's talk about some other options that you can use to, Squirrel Tribe says she loves some collard greens. How many of y'all are collard greens fans like Squirrel Tribe? All right, so options, let's talk about it, right? So doubling your money through options, stocks, crypto, arbitrage, right? These are definitely methods that you could use to increase your starting amount, your principal amount, right? Arbitrage, print on demand, other types of side hustles can ultimately make this happen. Now, obviously, there's no guarantees, as in, business, there's always some risk associated. But it is very essential to understand what you're getting yourself into before you get going. But ultimately, these are some legitimate opportunities here. So real quick, let's just talk about stocks, right? You can invest in stocks, identify some companies with some strong growth potential. You got Amazon, Walmart. I mean, there's tons of companies out here that pay dividends. There's dividend stocks that pay you passive income. And I would rather spend the income that comes off of a dividend versus spending the principal and then eventually I've run out of money. And to me, I think that that's a trap. So, investing in growth stock companies, companies that pay a dividend, that's a good option to consider. But I got several other ways of making this money go further. And in fact, potentially even doubling any amount of money. But in this case, we're talking about a $1,400 stimulus check, right? So options trading. I don't know how many of you guys are familiar with options, but options can allow you to control a larger position with a relatively small amount of capital. However, of course, options trading can, of course, be a little bit complex at times. There's some risk, but you can definitely make some money theoretically with options. Now, here's another option: cryptocurrency. A lot of people have heard of cryptocurrency. In fact, if you've been paying attention to what's happened with Bitcoin, Bitcoin has literally made a phenomenal amount of millionaires over the last several years. In fact, look at the price of Bitcoin now compared to where it was like 8 months ago, right? I mean, purchasing cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, Ripple, and holding them for long periods of time, it has led to substantial gains in the past. But of course, you guys got to keep in mind that crypto markets are highly volatile. I got a lot of people here talking about XRP is what they would invest in. Let's see. Apple. Wow, a lot of apple pie fans. That's amazing, guys. So anyway, there's also trading. Aside from crypto, active trading in cryptocurrencies can be profitable. Let's be very transparent about this. Active trading in cryptocurrencies can certainly be profitable, but obviously, you want to educate yourself before investing in anything, and cryptocurrency is no different, right? Now, of course, there's arbitrage. Now, arbitrage is literally taking advantage of price differences between different cryptocurrency exchanges, and of course this could be profitable, but it requires some very quick execution. But there's also arbitrage in the stores. Have you ever thought about going to one store? Have you ever gone into like one store and then seeing how like the prices are different? You might go in Target, Costco, Walmart, Sam's Club, and then you see like all these different prices for the same item. Well, when you see that, you might think to yourself, well, I would never buy this item from Costco for this price when I know I can go over to Sam's Club and get it for way less. Well, this is literally arbitrage. And people, including myself, have done this for years, finding items in retail stores for cheap. Whether it's at wholesale stores and whatnot, and literally buying it for cheap and relisting it on Amazon. I've literally bought items from Costco. I've bought items from Walmart in the clearance section. I've bought items from Sam's Club and listed them on Amazon and sold them for $5 items. I'm selling for like $40, and it's like, wow, that's roughly a $30 profit on an item that you can get for $5. And just think about how many times you could do that, especially if you got a $1,400 stimulus check where your goal is to double that money. So all I do is look for deals at great prices and, list them for higher amounts. And that's literally what arbitrage is. Now, let's not forget about the creator economy. The creator economy is a $250 billion industry, guys, and it's growing. And in fact, and I appreciate that tip, Squirrel Tribe, the creator economy is a $250 billion industry, and it is literally growing. In fact, it is one of the industries, even in spite of recessions, it continues to grow to this day. YouTube creators are it's probably one of the greatest segment of the creator market that is literally exploding between YouTube and TikTok, literally exploding. You have companies begging people to please work with me, represent my brand. Send me a shout out on your latest YouTube video. So literally these brands, they want to connect with their potential customers through the relationships that have been built through creators like YouTubers, like TikTokers, like Instagrammers. And you will be surprised how you can literally take a free YouTube channel, create a free YouTube channel, create a free TikTok account, create a free Instagram account, and literally build a following, build a family, build a community. And how many of these companies will come out of the woodwork, blowing up your email accounts and reaching out to you, DMing you, please contact us back. We would love to work with you. We want to pay you, $3,000 to just please mention our name on your channel. So the creator economy is huge, and so much of this money from these big companies that want to advertise, that they traditionally advertise on TV and radio and newspaper. And I mean, they're pulling back on a lot of those old methods of getting in front of people. What happens when you watch TV and a commercial comes on? You probably pull your phone out, right? Well, what happens when, you're watching YouTube and a commercial comes on? Well, chances are you're probably already watching YouTube on your phone. So you're less likely to pull your phone out and go somewhere else because you're already on your phone. You probably just watch the ad and get back to the show as soon as it comes back. These companies are so much more willing to pay you to get in front of your audience, and it's so much cheaper for them. So many of these big companies are seeing you as a creator as a huge gateway for them to get in front of a phenomenal audience, an audience that they may not be able to get in front of otherwise. Now, of course, I have to take a quick second and send a huge thank you to Squirrel Tribe for dropping a huge super chat. I can't thank you enough. I know it's Thanksgiving, and but you don't have to do these kinds of things. But of course, when you do, I totally appreciate it. Squirrel Tribe, from the bottom of my heart, I really, really appreciate that. Print on demand. I don't know how many of you guys have heard of print on demand, but with print on demand, it is literally, have you ever thought about selling t-shirts? Do you guys understand that selling t-shirts is a multi-billion-dollar industry? I mean, seriously, it's no joke, guys. I mean, you could literally create and sell custom t-shirts and products, and you could start like a print on demand business where you design t-shirts for free. And I can show you guys exactly how to do it. If you're interested, I can share more information. There's a link to my Patreon. I put a pinned comment for the Patreon. Join us over there if you want to learn more about any of these topics that I'm talking about right now, including, using Printful. Nice. Catalia, Catalia uses Printful and sells products on Etsy. That is exactly what I'm talking about. This is like one of the platforms among many that you can use to create t-shirts that you never even touch, and literally build a home-based business out of, from your home, from your kitchen table, from your laptop, from your smartphone, and, sell these products, right? So starting a print on demand business where you can design and sell custom t-shirts, accessories, and many other items, totally viable option for a lot of people, especially people who don't want to necessarily have to leave their house. A lot of people want to work remotely. They want to work from home. This is a phenomenal opportunity among many other opportunities that exist. But the sad part is that there's a lot of people who don't quite realize that these opportunities exist. And so they end up spinning their wheels, spending so much time away from their families, spending so much time in traffic, driving to and from a job that they may not even like going to. Is horrible. But there are better options out there. So if you guys want to learn more about remote work opportunities, side hustles, and just all sorts of different things, we're talking about that over on our Patreon. So you can check that out. If you want to join us, there's a link in the description and as a pinned comment for this video. So now think about this. Think about various other kind of side hustles, right? You got freelance work, you got consulting, you got affiliate marketing, you got e-commerce, you got platforms like Shopify, ClickFunnels. I mean, the tools are endless. And in fact, I found so many free tools that could be used to get pretty much anybody in business starting. Like you could literally get a home-based business going in less than 24 hours. You could hire your kids. This is what the rich teach their kids. And then they end up hiring their kids. And next thing you know, the kids are able to run the business, right? So I just kind of like to evaluate, the potential profitability of my skills, the time commitment required for each side hustle. And then I go for it. Right. And this is what I would do personally this is what I would do personally with my next stimulus check. I won't go below the whole check. I take 2%. Maybe buy some lottery tickets or some scratch and wins or whatever you call them, something fun. Maybe I'll go out to a really nice dinner, with the first 2%. But then that next 98%, we're going to double that money. And then we're going to triple it, right? Now, I don't know what part of the country you guys live in. You might live in Florida. You might live in California. Kansas, Missouri, South Carolina, please hit me up in the comment section. Let me know where you guys are watching me from, because it's about to get cold outside, but this presents a significant opportunity. There's some other side hustles that are coming up that you guys could potentially take advantage of. I want you guys to be thinking outside the box here just a little bit. Firewood, snow removal, simple things, right? Shovels, rock salt, chainsaws. Take this 98%. This is not financial advice. You could take 98% of your $1,400 stimulus check, or any amount of money for that matter, and you could theoretically double your money so that you won't end up worrying about, spending your whole check and end up having to wait for the next one. You could literally make that money grow so you never run out. And that's the way I like to play the game, right? Using firewood and snow removal tools like shovels and, rock salt, ice melt, chainsaws. These can provide opportunities to make money, especially as the colder weather starts to hit. We got Springfield, Illinois here. We got a lot of people from Ohio. We got Brandon Log from Ohio. We've got Makeshift Motor Company from Ohio. We've got Scott 2412s from Springfield, Illinois here. So we got Sabrina Barnhart from Missouri. We got Tanisha Williams from Philadelphia. So we got a lot of people here, and some of these states are known for pretty cold winters here, right? So this is going to open up the door for some opportunities here. And these are just some of many side hustle entrepreneurial opportunities that are available for you guys. So, here's just some simple ideas on, ways to be able to make money using some of these tools. You could use that chainsaw to, chop down and create firewood, seasoned firewood. Like, if you have access to a source of firewood, you can literally cut, split, and season it for sale. Seasoned firewood is in very high demand during the colder months. You got local sales. You can advertise your firewood for sale locally through online platforms like social media by placing flyers in different parts of the community. You can put the little signs on the side of the road. There's a lot of different ways of getting your word out that you got this firewood. You can offer a delivery service for customers who don't necessarily have the means to transport the firewood themselves. Then, of course, you got snow removal, right? Hopefully we have a white Christmas this year. But whether we do or we don't, we're pretty much guaranteed to get snow in a large part of the United States and in other countries. So, of course, there's residential snow shoveling, right? You can offer to shovel snow from driveways, shovel snow on sidewalks and pathways for a lot of the homeowners after a snowfall, especially, some of the homeowners that maybe can't really get out there and do it themselves. So there's that. But in addition to that, there's this snow plowing. If you got access to a snow plow, or maybe you can rent one, consider offering snow plowing services for larger areas like parking lots. These parking lots, you would be surprised if these parking lots get a lot of snow and someone doesn't come in and shovel it all out. There's theoretically probably up to hundreds of companies in these retail shopping centers and even like corporate office parks that can't conduct business if they can't get the cars in the parking lot. So they could literally pay you hundreds, if not thousands of dollars, depending upon the size of the parking lot, to literally just have you come in and plow the parking lot and create pathways for cars to be able to get in and out, right? So that is definitely another opportunity for you guys. Then, of course, there's ice management, right? You could put out like rock salt and ice melt and sand to kind of help prevent the ice from forming on the walkways and the driveways. Because, these companies, they don't want to risk someone slipping and falling on their property. Not a good look, right? You got tree limb removal services, so if you got a chainsaw, maybe you're a little bit experienced with using it. Well, hopefully you're a lot of bit experienced with using it. And literally, you can trim the limbs of trees. And that is very, very much so in demand, right? tree removal services. Like there's so many different things available. We're talking about a lot of physical labor here, but of course we can take it back inside. There's online marketing you can do. You can leverage platforms such as, local classified websites, social media. You got community forums in order to advertise your services, Facebook. There's a lot of ways to be able to get yourself out there. And this is literally just tip of the iceberg on how you could take a $1,400 stimulus check and double it before spending it. So if you double that $1,400 stimulus check, make it $2,800. If you happen to spend that $2,800, now you're back down to the $1,400. Now you're not broke. And that's the key here, guys. We don't want to be broke. We don't want to be in a situation where we're destitute for another check to come in. So if you guys want to learn more, if you want to talk to me on Patreon, feel free to join me. There's a link in the description, and I pinned a comment with a link to my Patreon. I do really hope that you guys enjoyed the conversation, the live today. If you haven't already, please drop a like for the video, consider subscribing, and I'm going to